Now we know why Bill Hemmer doesn't have a wife is a question that has quietly followed the respected journalist throughout his long and successful career, not because he has ever invited speculation, but precisely because Bill Hemmer has consistently chosen privacy over publicity in an industry that thrives on personal exposure, and while audiences see him daily as a composed, confident presence on television, his personal life remains largely out of frame, a deliberate boundary he has maintained for decades, leading many to assume there must be a hidden story or unresolved mystery behind his marital status, when in reality the answer appears far more grounded in personality, priorities, and professional devotion than scandal or secrecy, as Bill Hemmer has often spoken about his deep commitment to journalism, a career that demands relentless schedules, emotional endurance, and frequent sacrifice, especially at the level he operates, covering major global events, political shifts, and breaking news that rarely conform to a 9-to-5 routine, and this dedication has shaped nearly every aspect of his life, leaving limited room for traditional domestic expectations, particularly marriage, which requires time, emotional presence, and compromise that many high-profile journalists struggle to balance, and unlike celebrities who build brands around their relationships, Bill Hemmer has never used romance as a public narrative, instead choosing to let his work define him, a choice that has earned him respect but also curiosity, amplified by the fact that he is often perceived as charismatic, articulate, and traditionally attractive, qualities that fuel assumptions that marriage would have been inevitable, yet those assumptions ignore how intensely private he is, a trait reinforced by his own comments over the years emphasizing that not every meaningful relationship needs public validation, and that fulfillment does not always follow conventional paths. And, when examining his past, there have been occasional reports of relationships, but none ever confirmed in detail or prolonged in the public eye, suggesting that when Bill Hemmer connects with someone, he does so away from cameras and headlines, protecting both himself and the other person from scrutiny, a practice increasingly rare in modern media culture. And this intentional separation between public and private life may itself be the most revealing answer to why he does not have a wife. Because marriage, especially for someone in his position, would inevitably invite attention he has spent his entire career avoiding, and beyond privacy, there is also the matter of independence, as Bill Hemmer has often described his love for travel, long-distance adventures, and spontaneous experiences, including his well-documented solo expeditions, which reflect a personality comfortable with solitude and self-reliance rather than one driven by social expectation. And while society often frames marriage as a measure of completion, his life quietly challenges that narrative, demonstrating that success, stability, and contentment can exist outside traditional milestones, and the public's fixation on his marital status ultimately says more about cultural expectations than it does about him, as viewers project their own ideas of happiness onto a figure they feel they know but truly do not. And rather than offering a dramatic revelation, the truth behind why Bill Hemmer does not have a wife is a story of choice, discipline, and a clear understanding of what kind of life he wants to live, one centered on purpose, professionalism, and personal boundaries, making his path not unusual, but simply less visible, and in an era where oversharing is rewarded, his restraint feels almost radical, reinforcing the idea that some lives are meant to be lived fully without being fully explained.